welcome everyone to our session today. First of all, I have to say that I am so proud of you for joining me today, especially if you are an international student in the US, because you have big dreams here, right? You are attending this session because you want to make your dreams come true. And your dream is to land your first job in the US. So in this session, I would like to give you some tips and techniques to navigate all the job searching barriers and achieve your dreams in the US. And a little bit about myself. My name's Kwan Siegel. My students call me Coach Kwan, and you can call me that too. I grew up in Bangkok, Thailand, and now I'm living in Chicago. You can see the screen in the background where I am right now. This is the Chicago skyline, so beautiful. When you get here to Chicago, let me know, okay? I would love to buy you a cup of coffee. And let's talk about what I did before becoming a career coach here. In my past life, I worked as a human capital consultant at global organizations like Accenture and Deloitte. And in the past, I helped Fortune 500 companies, which they are my clients, with their talent strategy. And today I am the founder of ICOA. And what I do is I coach international students to help them navigate all the barriers and land their dream jobs in the US. And not just in the international students, we also have students who are first generation immigrants like myself as well. I really love my job because I love seeing you all, achieve your dreams here. I know how hard it is building your new life and your new career here in the US. Let us move to the next part of the session, which I will talk about what we're going to go through today, all right, in this 1 hour session. Let me walk you through some agenda items today. First, I will share with you a 7-step career success roadmap that has helped myself and also many international students build their brand and network and eventually land a job at the company that want to sponsor them. All right, first and foremost, everyone, I always recommend all students, especially international students, to utilize your university resources. Never, never ignore your university resources. Okay, first, know your counselors at those important offices. They are so friendly to international students. Make sure that you know your counselors at the ISSS, International Students Scholars and Services Office, okay? Career Services, your academic advisors, and also build relationship with your professors as well. Many of my students get job referrals through their professors. Don't miss out this opportunity. Next, participate in events that your school organized to learn new things outside the classroom. This is important, okay? And you will be able to meet with new people through those events as well. Next is to stay engaged with your alumni network because they could be your potential mentors and even your job referrals in the future. All right, so don't miss out this opportunity. And that is not all. Look into student organizations that align with your interest and build your leadership roles within those organizations. Lastly, most universities also provide job portals. So you should always polish your profile in that, portal and also keep your account active. All right. Make sure that you're very active on that job portal. However, these are some basics that you should not miss out at all. But to land a great job as an international student, you need to be extra good and you need to go the extra mile. Okay? Because nothing great ever comes that easy. And I want to set up some realistic expectations about job searching in the US with you. Here are the scenarios for international students and also actually domestic students as well who are approaching their graduation. They usually experience these top three challenges when looking for jobs. First, they may have little or no work experience at all, but most jobs in the US, even at entry levels, ask for years of work experience. How that possible? Right? And second is they know they have to network. People keep telling them, go out, network, talk to strangers. But they don't have any connections to kickstart with and don't even know how to get started. And it is so awkward to follow up as well. What is the best approach to follow up when you don't hear back from people, right? You don't know how to do that. And third, all they received from their online job applications is rejection. These are the challenges, all the challenges that many new graduates stumble through. And for international students, your challenges will double if you wait for the job to be open, apply online, and wait for an interview opportunity through that traditional job application process. Because when you get that first phone call from the recruiter, they will have to go through the process as usual, right? Business as usual. The recruiter will ask about your immigration status and they may say, we don't have a policy to sponsor international students. This is a kind of situation that many talented international students usually stumble through and lost your chances to present your skills in front of the hiring manager. You do not even have a chance to bypass that screening route. So in this presentation, I would like to share a few points to help you find jobs as a new graduate and also overcome your job searching barriers as an international student. If you follow the 7 steps that I will share with you in the next slide, you will have higher chances to land red carpet job interview. You see this one, red carpet job interviews, without going through so much of the traditional job application process. I have a few true stories to share with you before getting to that 7-step approach, okay? Let's learn from these true stories. They are international students at ICOA who landed their dream jobs at top global companies because they have a solid career brand and networking skills. First, let me talk about Shazman Khan. Okay, he is an international student, a former international student because he's got sponsorship already and already changed his status. He's originally from India, a small town in India, and when he came here, he had only a few years of work experience back in India. And it wasn't easy for him at all in the beginning to look for jobs as an international student. But after he rebranded his LinkedIn, a recruiter from Amazon reached out to him without him applying for that job online at all. He finally secured his dream job as a program manager before his graduation. And it was in April 2020. You remember that time? The peak of the pandemic when job openings dropped by half and the unemployment rate climbed up, record breaking. But Shazman overcame his barriers as an international student, his barrier as someone who looked for a job during the pandemic and secure a job offer before his graduation in May. That's excellent, right? Another great example is Dr. Trang Vu, an international student from Vietnam. Trang has recently landed her dream job as an R&D scientist at Unilever. And again, she didn't have to go through traditional job application process. Trang used a networking technique to connect with a high-ranking level professional on LinkedIn. She commented on his post and then asked for a one-on-one call with him. And after that, once she started to build that rapport, he agreed to pass along her resume to one of the directors at Unilever who was hiring at that time. Trang got a chance to jump on a call to introduce herself to that hiring manager, and a week after that, they gave her a job offer. Just one call to introduce herself. She said, Coach Kwan, I didn't even think it was an interview. All right. And then here's my favorite Vaij Hatrode. Vaij is an international student class of 2022. She just graduated this May. She secured multiple job offers, not just one, from the top global 500 companies in her favorite industry, consumer goods industry, before her graduation. But before that, she faced job searching barriers just like any other F1 international students. Work visa barriers, cultural language barriers, lack of professional connections and all. But Vaij never gave up. She overcame all the barriers and landed the job of her dreams before her graduation. Vaij, this is her success story. So great. She did not even mention about sponsorship with the company. They even asked for anything. All right. But the HR of this global company called her to offer an H-1B and green card sponsorship in the job offer letter as her benefit of becoming an employee. Shasman, Trang, and Vaij, okay, all of them bypass all the traditional job application processes because they know how to optimize their career brand. They know how to network with the right people. So let us look at the formulas they use to help them land their dream jobs. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the Q&A. Okay, I will check the Q&A at the end of this presentation. Now let us look into the formulas that Shasman, Trang, and Vaij, and so many students at ICOA use, all right, to land their dream jobs. Here is the 7-step career success roadmap that I built myself. And within this hour, too bad it is going to be hard to cover all of them, but I want to focus on a few important factors here. The first factor is to have an effective networking strategy. So I'm going to talk about step number 1, build meaningful connections. Step number 2, make people like you. And step number 3, create a networking game plan. And once you build that meaningful connections with the US professionals, right? Once you finish that first 3 steps, your next important factor is to build your career brand. So in steps 4, 5, and 6 is to define your goal. What kind of job you are targeting? Create your compelling stories and know your employer's needs. This is the job interview technique. We're going to touch a little bit of that. So let us get started with networking. If you want to have more chances of getting job interviews, you cannot rely on online job application anymore. Because on average, only 2% of job applicants get calls for an interview. It is hard to get results when applying online, especially when you dream of joining big tech firms. Why you spend time on that 2% chance when 80% out there of jobs, more than 80% of jobs are in the hidden job market. You remember Trang's story? The job was not even posted online, but she's got referred directly to the director who wants to hire an R&D scientist, right? Trang got tapped into the hidden job market, which is a term used to describe jobs that have not been advertised or posted online. These employers and companies share the opportunity with their network and keep getting candidates through employee referrals. And many of those jobs that actually you saw online on LinkedIn, Glassdoor, and so many other job posts out there, many of them that already published online might have already been filled, okay, internally or via referral. That is why sometimes you don't even get any responses from applying for those jobs online. And all you get was a rejection email when you have such a good profile. There are lots of channels of networking, but remember, my first step is to build meaningful connections. Why is that? It's because as an international student, you need to have a strong advocate who believe in your capabilities. You need a group of professional network who know that even when you need work sponsorship in the future, you are going to be a good investment for the company. So randomly connecting with people online on LinkedIn or sending cold emails without the intention to get to know them, it may not turn into a meaningful result if you don't know how to build meaningful connections with your target professionals. Make them fall in love with you and know where to find those career advocates and know how to maintain a connection. We will touch a little bit of that in this session. Here is a channel that will help you build meaningful connections with professionals outside your campus. It is important to build relationship with people inside, on campus, your advisors and whatnot, but always expand your network outside your campus as well. You can consider participating in events or even becoming a member at these organizations. Let us start with the first one, this blue table here. Okay? These are organizations that support your heritage. Leverage your heritage, okay, and connect with people in those professional groups in the US. Like, for example, me myself, I am originally from Thailand. I am Asian, so I am a member of Ascend, which is the largest pan-Asia leadership in North America, not just in the US, but in Canada as well. So through that membership, I get to connect with so many amazing leaders from top companies and get to learn from them. And we all want to help each other, right? When you share the same barriers, the same challenges, the same backgrounds, you tend to help each other more. And that's the technique to network as an international student. And for example, if you are from a Hispanic background, you can reach out to organizations like Alpha, Prospenica, and more. There are a lot more here for you to learn from. Okay. And next is this orange table here. These are organizations that support your specific interest. When joining the events organized by these organizations, you'll be able to meet with your target professionals who are working in your dream roles. For example, if you dream to become a project or program manager like Chasman, you remember Chasman? He's now a program manager at Amazon. If that is something that you dream to become, right? Then join an organization like PMI, Project Management Institute. Like if you are based in San Francisco, there is a big chapter here, the biggest chapter of PMI. And there are other chapters around the US. So check into their website and learn more how you can participate in their upcoming events. Don't be afraid that you are young and inexperienced. That is okay. Okay. Because to be young, to be a student, that is actually the card you can use in your job search game. People love to help students. So I would like to give you a few seconds here to capture this screenshot because these are organizations that you should start looking into. Okay. And you can kickstart by joining one of their free events. And if it's something that you feel, that you feel like you involved and you want to become a member, then you can explore their membership. All right, you're good. You got the screen. All right, make sure that you have this on your to-do list. All right. Here are the next 3 steps to build your career brand. Define your career goal, create compelling stories, and know your employer's needs. Why do we need to have a career goal? Can we just randomly applying for jobs that we can do, that we feel like we are capable of? Why do we have to think about a goal? Let me share this data with you. From a survey, 1,500 recruiters said that irrelevant applications was the biggest turnoff, and almost half of this population said they would blacklist those candidates by suppressing their names from even coming up in future resume searches. Recruiters at big companies have no time to deal with candidates with irrelevant applications that apply for jobs like a numbers game. Please avoid treating your job application like a numbers game because it is like you are shooting your resume in the dark. Let's make your job application process more focused and more strategic. There are so many strategic steps to build a career brand, and today I would like to talk about a few misperceptions that many students normally have when building out their resume and looking for jobs in the US. First, do you believe that only work experience in the US matters to American employers? That is not true. The right skill sets matter more. You should always highlight work experience that is related to your target job. Even though it's in your home country, that is okay. Me, myself, coming here almost, wow, time flies, almost 10 years, 10 years ago or something, okay, back in 2014, 8 years, right? Back in 2014, I did not have any experience in the US, but I had 10 plus years of work experience back in Thailand. So I bundle up my experience and sell that to American employers. And from that point, I got a job interview. I got job interviews from many companies and finally secure a job offer from Deloitte. And I did not have to start from the bottom at all. I started where I am, want to be as a senior consultant in human capital consulting at Deloitte. So you can do that too. Okay. And for those of you who do not have any real work experience, let's say we have lots of undergrad students joining us today. Maybe you don't have work experience at all, right? Don't worry about that. It's not the end of the day. It's not the end of the world. All right. Because your school projects also matter. Use your school projects and bundle it up to highlight your skills on the resume. Even though it's not a paid job, that is okay. You can also start volunteering, working for nonprofit organizations. Like, let's say, if you want to be a data analyst, business analyst, you can volunteer to work, right? Or you can use your CPT to work on some internship that can highlight the skills. However, Don't ignore putting your school projects on a resume. It is compelling. Okay, let's talk about the last portion here. The last misperception is that GPA. I know international students, you are high achievers, and I encourage you to keep your grade above 3 because that is a common cutoff for many companies out there, especially big fours. However, if you feel that having a GPA is a gateway to a job directly, let me show this to you. Okay, from National Association of Colleges and Employers survey this year, fewer employers said that they use GPA to screen candidates. You see the sharp drop there, right? They said, I don't care much about GPA anymore. When it comes to a career, employers want to know your stories, not just a GPA. So prepare to talk about your projects and the problems that you have to solve, in your classroom with your project work. Highlight relevant skills instead of just a GPA. And once you have your brand ready on your resume, don't just stop there. Share your brand on other channels as well. Okay. For example, of course, LinkedIn. 100% of my students got job interviews with Google, Amazon, and all the top tech firms because recruiters reached out to them through LinkedIn. They did not even have to apply for jobs online. Okay. Top tech firm recruiters love passive candidates. All you need to do is to build your brand on LinkedIn. Also, don't forget about your email signature because after you get, interview opportunity and all that, there will be lots of email back and forth, right? Add your brand on every email that you communicate with people. And something that will set you apart is your e-portfolio, GitHub, and more, okay, depending on your career goal. All right. If you have some work samples from your school projects or your own personal projects, build a website and let the world know what you are capable of. Okay. Go beyond a resume. And this is a post pandemic time. People start to meet up in person again. So let's print out your business card that presents your brand. Nothing beats in person meetings. Okay. And this may surprise you a bit. When you get a job interview, never ask for this question. Will you sponsor my H1B? Never. As you have your work authorization already. F1 students, be confident about your CPT, about your OPT. Don't feel guilty about it. All right. You should walk into that meeting, that interview with confidence that you don't need sponsorship right away. Make sure that you are there in that job interview to sell yourself, your capabilities, your skills, not your visa situation. And during a job interview, please remember that in the US, job interview is not a one-sided approach. In the job interview, if you want to stand out, you must be able to create a conversation with your interviewers. And to create that conversation, you need to know a lot about their background, right? All hiring managers that I talk to, they all say the same thing. Candidates who stood out during the job interviews are people who have done extensive research about the job and about the company. Therefore, in order to nail your next job interviews, all you need to do is to do your homework, do your research, okay, to identify their needs. First, just walk through that job description, read it line by line. All right. And not just that, check into their website, social media, get to know about the company, know about their achievements, their challenges, their latest news. use a name dropping strategy. Have you heard about name dropping during the interview? For example, if you know what is the CEO name, CFO name, mention their names about their mission, right? In the company, share that you have done some research and express how much you want to be part of their mission to help them achieve that mission. Also, do the research about your interviewers as well, because that person is the one who will put the score on you, right? Give you the score. So don't just learn about the company, but learn about your interviewer's background, about their expertise, because this will help you customize your message to match their interests and ask good questions. However, anyone can get those online information, right? How can you stand out? You need to find opportunities to speak with people who are working within that company. Ask your connections, ask your career advisors, ask your professors if they know anyone working in that company, as you would like to learn more about the company culture and the team members. Find opportunities to have an informational interview. Before we get into the Q&A part of today's session, I would like to make sure that you walk away with these important action items. All right. First, networking. Network for mentorship opportunity, not for job opportunity. Branding. Target jobs that are hard to fill in the US and build your professional brand beyond having a resume. Job interviews show that you are a problem solver, not a visa sponsorship seeker. And job offer and sponsorship will happen on its own. Remember White's story? She didn't even mention anything about I need sponsorship in the future. She just did so well during the interview, show her value to the employer, and the employers just offer that to her without her asking for it. You may be asking, Coach Kwan, really? Following these 7 steps, will I see results? So let me show you this. I put together some data here for you as an evidence. My students that follow these 7 steps, okay, this is what they have achieved. More than 90% of them receive job interviews or even a job offer within a month of launching their new career brand. Career brand is so important. And their average salaries are twice to the average national salary for college students, because international students, you're not supposed to be a cheap labor. You are the human capital for the American economy. Be confident about yourself. All right. And for many of them that landed job at startups or entry level right after college, they got promoted within a year of joining the company because of their networking skills. So networking does not stop at the time that you got a job offer. Keep continue building that skills. And because of their LinkedIn profile, they also keep getting new opportunities without applying for job, especially get reached out by top tech companies because of their optimized LinkedIn. So don't ignore building your LinkedIn profile. If Shasman, Trang, Vaj can do it, you can too, right? All right. I would like to spend just a few minutes here because I know that a few of you may need some hands-on support with job searching, meaning that free resources might be too generic for you and you want something that is very personalized to your situation, not even a cookie cutter online course, and you need someone that can respond to your doubts and concerns. Every time that you experience any roadblock, you need that consistent feedback on your job search. If this is something that you are looking for, I would like to you to listen to me here just for a few minutes because I want to share a little bit about the program at ICOA. And after that, I will answer the questions that you have through Q&A. I would like to introduce to you my coaching program, the ICOA Talent Platform. Okay, this is a complete career coaching solution for international students. And once you sign up, First, you get a one-on-one meeting with me to evaluate your situation. And after that, you will continue with my 7-step career success roadmap modules. And these modules include interactive features that you will not feel that you are taking these courses all alone at all. You have me guiding you step by step, and you will be able to submit your new resumes, your new LinkedIn profile, e-portfolio, and more via my platform. And I will also give you feedback until you perfect your career brand materials. After you finish our modules, all the 7 modules, you will be able to ask me questions via email and in our group coaching session. And during our group coaching sessions, you will also be able to meet successful mentors, network with other fellow international students who always want to help each other. That is not all. We also have bonuses like immigration advice from a skilled immigration attorney, and also exclusive LinkedIn group where you can connect with professionals in top companies. How much is this program? I provide a payment plan where you can kickstart the program at $129. And this is a 7 months payment plan where you will get a lifetime membership. You may be asking me, I need a job within 3 months. Why do I need to pay for 7 months? So this is how your investment gonna look like. The program that I designed, if you can finish, the training itself by within the first month and get jobs within that 90 days. And I have seen success story that my students who stay engaged with me get jobs within that 90 days when they don't lose track. Okay. This payment plan will help you manage your finance like this. If you get a job within that first 3 months, the next 4 months that you get your new salary, you will start getting your return on investment from the program. And from my database, majority of ICOA students land their first full-time job with a salary of 90,000 US dollars annually, or this is around $7,500 per month, right? Before tax. So within that 5 months of your new job, if you want to calculate the cost of the program, it will be only 1.18% of your 5 month salary. What about students who may be graduating next year or 2 years from now? We have lots of students that not graduating pretty soon, maybe a year from now. This program will not only help you secure your job after graduation, but also help plan out your internships before getting that first full-time job. I strongly recommend non-STEM students and students who may not have lots of work experience to start as soon as possible, because if you look at the cost and your expense of this program, say you want to use ICOA and use me as your coach for the next 365 days or only like a year from now, your daily investment will be around $2.42, which is cheaper than a cup of Starbucks, right? All right. And these are the top companies that our students receive job offers from. You can see top tech companies, manufacturing companies, and financial services companies here. And I know that you love discount, so I have the discount for you. You can learn more about this discount. For example, the coupon code $20 off in your first month, or if you want to pay in full at the beginning, I take off 1 month for you. All right. You can learn more about this on icoa.com. All right. We have around 10 more minutes here to answer the questions. We have about Wow, let me see, more than 10 questions here. We have a question from Nee. Can international students do freelance job for CPT and OPT? Great questions, okay? For freelance job, it really depends on your employer, right? We are talking about like contract job, right? For those kind of Upwork and all that might not work for you, because remember the condition about CPT first, CPT, right? You need to have that job offer letter, and then you request the CPT from your university. So like Upwork, there won't be that official job offer letter, but if it's a contract or part-time job, that they can give you a job offer letter, then it works. For OPT, as long as the job is related to your field of study, you can do that as well. However, you need to have that job offer letter as well. And when you file your employer in that, USCIS portal, you need to put their EIN number in there. I just doubt it if that employer for that freelance job be able to give you that EIN number and the company's information, right? So you need to have a company, right, to work for, whether it's part-time, contract, full-time, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I hope that I'm answering your questions, okay? And you have follow-up questions too. Which semester, spring or fall, if I graduate, will help me get a better chance for the lottery H1? Great question. All right, remember this timeline. March. Okay. Now it used to be in April, but now USCIS changed the approach to have that online registration in March. So the first week of March, the company needs to start do the online registration for you if they want to sponsor you, and it costs them only $10. It's so easy. Okay. So if you are a spring graduate, then let's say you get a job, if you graduated in May this year, this month, and you get a job in June, you have more time to work for your employer. You have more time to build your reputation as a top performer of the company. And then from that point, you can start having a conversation about, hey, I know that, I really love working here and want to grow with the team. I want to share with you my status that I have 3 years of OPT, which means I can change my status by, converting into an H1 employer. I can share with you more information on that. And that H1 will happen in March this year. So would you be able to consider, keep connecting me with the HR so that I can start with the sponsorship process, as I would like to grow with the team, right? So have that conversation with your employers. So long story short, spring or fall, actually, it doesn't matter. But for spring, you have more time to build that relationship with your employers. For fall, you can do that as well, but you will have shorter timeline. Like, let's say if they don't want to sponsor you upfront, normally the companies don't. They want to try you first and see if it's a good fit, right? And then the conversation about sponsorship will come later. I will recommend spring. Okay. But again, it depends on so many other things. Feel free to reach out to me later on through WhatsApp and share with me more information about yourself. I'd be happy to answer more questions on that. Okay. We have this question. Can I apply for a CPT if my passport has expired? Oh no, your passport has expired. Due to some difficulties, I'm unable to renew my passport at the moment. Okay, okay. For this, I will definitely want you to connect with your international student office. Okay, because when you work, right, you need SSN number. And SSN, you need to have a passport. Passport expired, not good. Get in touch with your advisor right away. International Student Services Office. Please do that as your priority. Good news to you. This is not the pandemic anymore. I was like in that, critical time with the students during the pandemic when everything closed down and their passport expired. You don't want to get into that part, but you're lucky. Everything now open up. Get this thing done, fixed right away. Contact your international students offices and try to renew your passport as soon as possible. Oh, me again. All right. Let me click answer live. If I apply for an internship and gets asked if I need sponsorship in the future, can I say no since I don't need H1 while working there? Actually, you know what? Like the word need sponsorship in the future could be ambiguous, right? And you are right, me is like, let's say you have 3 years of, work authorization. In the future, let's say next year, you still don't need sponsorship, right? So it is depends on how comfortable you feel with this, because I have seen two scenarios. First, student who target hard to fill job, all right, they do use this approach. They said, I don't need sponsorship, but once they get the offer, they show their EAD card. The employer know that there is the expiry date on their EAD card, which is all right. They know that they need sponsorship. Things go smoothly. They get a job offer, no questions asked. Another scenario, the student target the not hard to fill job, which means they cannot get anyone to work on that role. And they use this approach. Unfortunately, once they receive a job offer and the employer found out that they are international students, they withdraw the offer. So it depends on how comfortable you feel. However, this, you know, to answer no or yes, it is not going to be a silver bullet that solve all the problems, right? It started from building the right career goal, building the right career brand. And after that, you know how to get more interviews and tackle this problem by just selling your skills. So I hope that I'm answering your question. Again, you can reach out anytime through LinkedIn, through WhatsApp. All right. So a friend asked if I can share these slides. I will share a recording with you. So that is even better than a slide, right? All right. Let me click. Now we have, okay, we are a little bit over the time, but I can stay a little bit more with you because I want to cover as many questions as possible here. Okay, let me cover 3 more questions. So we're going to be a little bit over 12 o'clock my time today. Okay, what is the common reason? Okay, Morgan asked the question, what is the common reason why companies don't sponsor? Yes, common reason is that they can find other candidates that can do the job, that they don't have to go through all the administrative things, all the problems, all the uncertainties of H1. So some companies just want to avoid all the future those kind of administrative tasks that they need to do, right? Or the cost that they need to pay. So they avoid sponsoring students. Again, if you are able to target the job that is hard to fill and be able to compete with other domestic candidates because you have done lots of research and show your super enthusiasm about being part of the team, anything can happen, right? That is the reason why companies don't sponsor. Yeah, they can find somebody else out there. But to be honest with you, there is a talent gap. Okay, there is a talent gap, talent shortage in the US. That's the reason why lots of companies also want to sponsor. Okay, we have more from Morgan here. Should students who are non-STEM students consider adding a STEM major, even it's not exactly what they want to do in the future? This is for your advantage, Morgan, right? Let's say if you are referring to a STEM major for you to convert your OPT to 3-year OPT, this is for your advantage that you can try that H1 lottery for 3 times because you may not get that in the first round, right? That is so, important with the H1B sponsorship. And when it comes to a career or skill, um, technical skills also are very important. But however, you can also get those technical skills through like certifications or take any courses in addition or even volunteer to work on projects, right, in the future to build that technical skills. So I will say if you get a chance to convert your OPT to STEM, do it if you can for that visa pathway. Oh, wow. We have Shihan here. Let me see. Let me share the question. And this is going to be our last question for today. Okay. And then I'm going to try to look at other questions from here. And probably I'm going to answer that in our WhatsApp group. Okay. So Shihan asking about if the job requires 2 to 3 years of work experience, do I still want to apply for it? How should I deal with this problem? Apply for it? Yes, apply for it. That is okay. Again, highlight your skills. When they ask for 2 to 3 years of work experience in the job description, don't feel discouraged. Apply for it. Highlight your school projects. Highlight your skills. But again, remember that the better route for you to look for job is not online job application, meaning that this problem of yours, number one problem here, 2 to 3 years of experience in the job description, should I apply for it, will not be relevant anymore if you get to network with people and be able to sell your skills in advance, okay? And Shenghan, question number 2 is, I will graduate in December. Do I need to apply for a job now? Yes, Shihan, please try your best to do this as early as possible. If you have a CPT, it's great to land a CPT job before your graduation in December and build that relationship and convert that into a full time. My students last year, May last year, graduated in December last year, went through that route. It's beautiful. It's amazing because they did not have to experience, loss of like time pressure because they could convert their internship into a full-time offer. If you have CPT, use it. If you don't, why you should apply now? If you are graduating in December, it's because for you to practice, for you to do that test run to see what works and what doesn't work for you. Jobs will not just come that easy. Okay, it takes a little bit time, and most importantly, your interview skills need to be super polished and super good. So you need lots of route of practicing. And when you don't need a job quickly, you may be even better, during the job interview because you don't have that pressure. All right, I'm going to end the Q&A portion right now. And again, I will try my best to combine these questions and share in a blog form or through our WhatsApp. Okay. And if you have any additional questions, join our WhatsApp right here. All right. And then ask me questions there. And once again, don't let your work visas become your barrier to getting a job offer. Build your brand and network to bypass your immigration barriers. And please keep me posted on your journey in the US. I am rooting for you all. Good luck, everyone.